Right, so let's go ahead and build the building blocks so that we can publish messages to the exchange, and so that we have the ability of listening messages from a queue. So let's open up IntelliJ, and in here, let's create yet a new module. Next, and here, let's just simply say advanced message queue. So I'm just going to leave it as AMQP. Now I'm going to finish, and inside what we need is to bring in the dependency that allows us to have the RabbitMQ classes. So for that, so within dependencies, let's just say dependencies, and within dependencies, we're going to bring in, so dependency, and this will come from Spring dash and then starter, or actually boot dash and then starter dash and then advanced message queue protocol. And this comes from Spring Boot, just like this. Now let's open up, and inside of main Java, let's have a new package. We're going to name this as com.amigoscode.advanced message queue protocol, and inside let's have a class, and we're going to name this class as RabbitMQ and then config. Now this class will serve as a configuration, so let's annotate this with add configuration, and inside we need a couple of things. So the first thing that we need is the ability to be able to publish a message to a queue. And to do that, we need to have a bin, and this will be advanced message queue protocol, or in fact, I need to reload in here. So always remember to reload the Maven changes, otherwise you won't get the classes needed. So there we go. And let me just close this. So now here, advanced message queue and then protocol, and this will be template. So AMQP and then template. So this is an interface, and I'm going to name this as AMQPTemplate, and inside we're going to have Rabbit and then template, and by default we actually get this Rabbit template, but because I want to customize it, then we have to do this way. So this will be equal to new and then Rabbit template. Now this guy here takes no parameters or a connection factory. The connection factory, we can inject it, so private final and then connection and then factory, just like that. And here I'm going to say at all and then args constructor and job done. So let me put this full screen, and now I can pass the connection factory. So now that we have that in place, and it looks like I did import the wrong one, so not this one, but instead, so if I import this again, so we have the one from Spring Framework, just like that. So now that we have this in place, I can say RabbitMQTemplate dot and then set message converter, and this is so that we can basically send messages as JSON. So when a producer sends a message, this message will be sent as a JSON blob, and then on this side it will also take the JSON blob message and then convert to whatever object it wants, right? So we send an object that gets converted to JSON, and then on this side the JSON blob gets deserialized to a Java object. And inside I can say new and then Jackson to message converter, and in fact if I extract this to a variable, so I can say Jackson message converter, and this, so this is an interface, so I can say message and then converter, and make sure that you choose the one from advanced message queue protocol. There we go. And what I'm going to do instead is, let's just grab all of this, and I'm going to say public and then message converter, and choose this one. So from AMQ support, and then I'm going to say Jackson and then converter. And let me just paste this right here. And if I put this on a new line, so you see everything, there we go. And what I want to say is just return and then Jackson message converter. Now, the benefit of doing this way, and also we have to annotate this with @bin in here. And basically inside of this converter here, you can pass a JSON object mapper. And with a JSON object mapper, what you could do is if you want to have specific modules that you want to use, you can just say Jackson and then to object mapper builder dot, and then have a look. You can say JSON, XML, and you can basically keep on. If I say JSON here, I can then say, for example, modules, and you can configure this the way you want. But for now, all we want is a simple message converter and just return that. Now in here, we can just say Jackson and then converter. And all we need to do is just return and then rabbit and then template. And finally, let's annotate this with @ and then bin. Next, let's go ahead and define the listener.